All right, so now I do want to kind of get into what's going on in the world now and your perception of that given your experience. But let's pick up from your story about you had this cleansing to do to get to this higher frequency so that you could enter what you call heaven. Do you want to talk
Mhm.
about that?
Yeah, so this, as I get through this cleansing, I learned that part of that cleansing is learning that I have a single authentic self inside of all of these paradigms, inside of all of these personas that I had allowed to build up around me. And Drake, he showed me how in life, when we come into this life, we're extremely authentic. And right before we leave this life, we become extremely authentic. So the most authentic people in life are the really young and the really old. And it's sad that it's like that. I wish it was so that we could maintain that authenticity. And he showed it's those vulnerable moments and us trying to run away from vulnerability that causes all these fake personalities or fake aspects of who we are to start showing up. And he says that it's in your vulnerable moments that you grow and learn the most, but not just you. Everyone around you grows and learns. So it's so important for us to be vulnerable, to allow vulnerability. And it's so funny because if we allowed vulnerability truly on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on all of our social medias in the public sector, if we allowed true vulnerability, we would be living a completely different world right now. Completely different world. It's the exact opposite. You dust under the rug any vulnerability. You build up this fake personality of what's important, what's real, and that's what you broadcast out. So essentially, they're broadcasting an energetic house of cards, and eventually that house of cards collapses. That's why so many people in the public sector or the public eye, they collapse. They have major collapses in their life. It's because they've built such a house of cards that's so unreal and so inauthentic or unauthentic. And it's in our authentic nature we can grow. And when we are not being authentic, we are preventing growth. It's like taking a picture of a flower, the most beautiful flower, but just a fake picture of it, and put it over a flower like a sock. And how soon are you going to have a flower grow inside that sock that looks like the picture? You'll never, ever. That flower will die. And that's what happens to us. The longer we allow the fakeness to be on the outside and the inauthentic moments to lead us, then the closer we are allowing ourselves towards energetic death, towards a complete cutoff or separation from our creator. And that's actively happening regularly around us. People are cutting themselves off from reality, cutting themselves off from emotion, cutting themselves off from any vulnerability of any kind, and living in these false paradigms. So authenticity, and I sorry to go off on that, but that's the foundation of where we grow. If we don't have that foundation of being authentic and being vulnerably authentic, then we can't grow. And so that was part of what I needed to heal and to recognize that I needed to be my authentic, vulnerable self to be able to begin my journey. Just to begin that journey, I had to do that.